Welcome back to the channel. Every week, we are uncovering powerful lessons from scripture and applying them to real-world business, leadership, sales, and marketing, and personal growth. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, a coach, consultant, ministry leader, or someone with a dream that God has placed in your heart, you are in the right place. So grab your notebook, open your mind, and most importantly, open your heart, because today's lesson could be that one inside you that can change the way you approach your business forever. Let's dive in. Today, we are talking about a subject that may challenge everything modern business culture teaches us. Why obedience often beats strategy. Now, don't misunderstand me. Strategy matters. Planning matters. Marketing matters a lot. Learning also matters. But there's something more important than all of them. Like I said in the last episode, direction, because the best strategy in the world cannot compensate for going in the wrong direction. And that's exactly what we are going to explore today. The problems most entrepreneurs face is that most entrepreneurs have become addicted to information. We consume podcast after podcast, book after book, course after course, one YouTube video to the other. I also did that. I consumed a lot when I was starting. I didn't know what I was going to do. So we are constantly looking for the next secret, the next strategy, the next funnel, the next marketing hack, the next growth system. And while learning is important, many people are suffering from what I call strategy overload. They are drowning in information, but they are starving for clarity. Have you ever felt that way before? You know more than you did a year ago. You've learned more than you did a year ago. You've invested more than you did a year ago. Yet, somehow, you are stuck. If that's you, I want you to know that you are not alone. And I think scripture gives us the answer to this. So let's back to the story we discussed in episode 1. The disciples had spent all night fishing. They had the experience, they had equipment, they had skill, they had effort, but they had no result. Then Jesus gave them one instruction: cast your net on the other side. Think about this for a moment. He didn't teach a master class. He didn't hand them a complicated business plan. He simply gave them a direction to follow. And because they obeyed it, everything changed. The miracle happened after obedience, not before obedience. And I believe that's a principle many business owners need to hear today. Sometimes the breakthrough you are praying for is waiting on the other side of obedience. So this is why we prefer strategy over obedience. The truth is, strategy feels safer. Strategy allows us to stay in control. Strategy makes us feel like we are smart. Strategy gives us something we can measure. But obedience requires trust, and trust can be very uncomfortable. When God tells us to do something that doesn't make logical sense, our first instinct is usually resistance. We ask questions, we doubt, we hesitate, we delay. But this is what I have learned over time. Delay obedience. Sometimes we spend months asking God for answers He had already given us. We are waiting for another confirmation when deep down we already know what we need to do. Maybe He's prompting you to start that business. Maybe He's prompting you to create that content, reach out to that client, raise your prices, change your niche, build your team. Or He's prompting you to finally take the first steps you have been avoiding, but fear keeps getting in the way. It happened to all of us. Let's use the story of Noah as an example. Imagine how ridiculous God's instructions must have sounded to Noah and everybody that heard it. Build an ark before rain existed, before anyone had ever seen a flood, before there was any evidence, before there was any proof. Noah's obedience came before understanding it. And because of that obedience, generations were saved. Many times God doesn't reveal the entire roadmap. He reveals the next step. And your responsibility is not to know everything. Your responsibility is to obey the next instruction. One of the biggest business mistakes entrepreneurs make is confusing movement with progress. You can be extremely busy and still be moving in the wrong direction. You can answer emails all day. You can post on social media and attend meetings, watch webinars, network constantly, and still not be doing what God is actually calling you to do. Business can become a distraction. Activity can become an idol. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to stop and ask, Lord, what are you asking me to do next? That question alone can save you years of frustration. Now, this is how to hear God's direction. Some people hear what I'm saying and they immediately ask, How do I know what God is telling me? First of all, spend time in prayer. Not just talk, listening, not just asking for things. Listen in prayer. Second, spend time in the scriptures. God often confirms direction through his words. Third, pay attention to recurring impressions. Sometimes God keeps highlighting the same thing over and over again. Fourth, seek wise counsel. God often speaks through mentors and trusted believers. And fifth, look for peace, not comfort. Peace, comfort, and peace are not always the same thing. Many of God's assignments will stretch you, but even in the stretching, there can be peace. I want to challenge you with something today. What if the answer to your next breakthrough is not another strategy? What if it is an act of obedience? What if you've already received the instruction? What if the things you've been praying for months is something God has already spoken about? It is not meant to create guilt. It's meant to create awareness, because awareness creates action and action creates movement. This week, I want you to take out a notebook and answer 3 questions. What do you believe God is asking you to do? Why haven't I done it yet? What is my next steps? Be honest with yourself. You don't need a 10-year plan. You don't need 100 steps. You need a next step. This next step. And then you need courage to take it. The Bible teaches us that success often begins with obedience. The disciples, they caught 153 fishes because they followed the right instruction. And perhaps the same is true for us. Maybe your breakthrough isn't waiting for another course. Maybe it is waiting for your obedience. Maybe God isn't asking you to work harder. Maybe he's asking you to trust him more. Remember, success is not just about building bigger business. It is about building a business that honors God, that serves people, and leaves a lasting impact. Keep the faith, keep the growing, and keep casting your net where God is leading you. If this video helped you, leave a comment below and tell me what area of your business requires obedience right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do, because our next episode, we are talking about one of the most powerful mindset shifts in business, the difference between scarcity and abundance. I will see you in the next episode.